Good morning, family. I just barely got your video from Family Home Evening. Thank you very much for that. I was very disappointed when I saw that you weren't going to send me any cookies. However, it's true when Mommy said that I have Milka-Bars. Let me show you guys what a Milka-Bar is. So this is a Milka-Bar. Notice it's really big and really long, and it is very, very good. So the Milka-Bar is broken up into little squares like this, and then what you do is you just break off a square and you enjoy the heavenly goodness. As you can see here, that what you've got graham cracker. On top of it is chocolate, above and below. And so it's kind of like s'mores. It is fabulous. I'll bring you guys home some. When I was a missionary, we used to eat milk almost every single day because we were on our bikes a lot. And so we didn't have to worry about getting fat or anything. So we would buy a different bar every day. They have lots of flavors. They have some with nuts, some with fruit, some with marshmallows. They're very, very, very good. So I'll bring some home when I come home, okay, guys? It costs a lot of money to mail things, so don't worry about mailing me anything, and I won't mail you anything. I haven't heard yet if you guys got a little present from me in the mail. Ask Mommy what it is and what I'm talking about. Mommy should know about it. I hope you guys have a lot of fun with that. It should be there about by now. Liz, I'm also getting a package of fish stuff. Just give the food to Jack. Got some new food for Jack, and put the rest to the side, and Zach knows what to do with it. If it needs to be refrigerated, then put some of it in the fridge. Mommy was trying to teach you guys about September 11th, and that was a really, really sad day for us. On September 11th, 11 years ago today, some very bad people flew planes into some really large buildings in New York City, and they flew a plane into the big military base, the big military building in Washington, D.C., near where we used to live. And there was another one that was trying to hit the Capitol. But fortunately, the people who were in that plane were able to bring the plane down. They all died, but they were able to stop the plane from hitting the Capitol. And everybody in all four of those planes died. But three of those planes hit the buildings, and they made it so that lots and lots of people died. And the buildings in New York City actually crashed down. When that happened, Daddy was a missionary. I was over on my mission, and I remember some people, we were just about to start English class, and some of the missionaries that I worked with came running up to us, and they said, "The Twin Towers have fallen and the Pentagon is on fire." And we laughed. We said, "That's impossible. What are you talking about?" And then some other people came up and said, "No, it's true." And so we had our family home evening, our English class like usual. And then me and my companion, we ran over to the mall where there were lots of TVs. Because remember, as missionaries, we can't have TVs in our own house. But we ran over to the mall, and there were lots of people standing by the televisions. They were all Slovenes. And when they saw us, they immediately recognized that we were Americans. And they immediately parted. They moved out of the way, kind of out of respect. They let us come up to the televisions and look, and we watched as we saw what had happened. That night, our mission president called all of us. He called our families, too. He called us to make sure we were okay. He told us that we could go over to the senior missionaries' houses the next day, and that we could watch the news, watch the television for about an hour. And then he called all of our families to tell our families that we were okay and that we were safe. And so the next day, we went over to I believe it was Elder and Sister Bagley's house. We watched television, mostly CNN, for about an hour, and we saw what had happened, and we saw the aftermath and what people were talking about. And then that night, we actually all slept together. Me and the other elders, we all slept, we kind of had a sleepover, essentially. But we talked about it, and how the world was a different place. And I remember at that time thinking to myself that this was our war, that our grandpas had had World War II, and our fathers had had Vietnam, and this was our war. It was going to be our turn. And this was going to be a war kind of like we read in the scriptures. Not one where there are easy sides, one side or the other, but where there are lots of bad people, and sometimes you don't know who the bad people are. A few weeks later, we had General Conference. And in Slovenia, we couldn't really watch General Conference. We could try to listen to it on the internet, though. But General Conference took place for us late at night. And so it was about 8 o'clock at night, and we were allowed to listen to the very first session of, I think it was the Saturday session. It may have been the Sunday session. But we were listening to it when President Hinckley stood up. And he said, I want you all to know that the President of the United States has just fired lots and lots of missiles and bombs into Afghanistan. And we are now at war. And that was the first I had heard about it. I didn't know about it until I was listening to conference. And then I learned that we were at war. And afterwards, when I came home, I decided that I was going to join the military and that I was going to help. And that's why we went to the military school. Remember how we lived in Washington, D.C.? Jack and Charlotte, you probably remember that. And now I'm in the military. And what I'm doing right now is I'm taking care of all the soldiers who are keeping us safe. They're fighting all the bad guys in a faraway place called Afghanistan. Well, for me, it's not very far away anymore. It's only about 6 hours away for me. So I'm pretty close to Afghanistan now. And we take care of all the soldiers after they get hurt. When they come back to the hospital, I'm there and the other doctors, and we take care of them. And sometimes they got shot, or sometimes there were bombs that blew them up, and so they're missing arms and legs or hands, or they can't breathe very well because the explosions hurt their lungs. And so we have to go to the operating room a lot to remove any of the dead tissues. Sometimes the gunshot wounds will actually make their hand die, so we have to try to clean them out and fix them. And so it helps them to live, though. We have family members here who come across to be with their injured soldiers, and so we get to talk to them and help them, and it's really, really rewarding. So I want you all to keep all of these soldiers in your prayers when you say prayers at night, okay? I gotta go now. I will send you another video when I can. I love you all. Keep having cookies. I hope you enjoy the present you're about to get. I hope you have a wonderful day. Love you. Bye.